Okay, we're live. Welcome to the Technically Luke podcast.
Where I ramble on about how Overwatch's rank system is a fucking joke for 45 minutes. But
And
before that, and yeah, Lucas isn't saying anything because he's not here, and Jamie doesn't say anything. He just kind of occasionally will laugh every now and then.
hey,
But
and we do this entire train wreck, 2 days late so consistently that it actually became our regular viewing time.
yeah, we're doing it on Sunday at sometime on Sunday. From now on, just
Yeah,
it's roughly this time Sunday.
or maybe not, or maybe it'll
Yeah,
be
because
yesterday, or
when most people actually watch this, it will have been uploaded for like a year. So, you know, that'll be fun to explain how this time on Sunday turned out to be 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. But yeah, anyway, so before we get into the main grunt, which is Titan X 470, 460, and how I fucking hate Overwatch at the moment, although I really love it, and that's why I hate the state it's in. I wanted to mention that the RX 480 Red Devil doesn't just have an upside down logo, doesn't just have green PCB parts, and doesn't just have a pentagram. No, it has a Star of David. It's not a fucking pentagram, guys. It's the Star of David, meaning that they really fucked up and have now pissed off the Jews. You don't want to do that. Anyway, the tablet thing that I was thinking of last episode is the Razer Edge from about 2013. Um, there hasn't been another Razer Edge, so I'm going to assume it was a piece of shit. But it had a really cool controller idea with even a battery in it, so it, topped up the battery of your device and stuff. And if they made one of those for the Shield, I'm sure someone will at some point. But then again, it doesn't seem like the Shield's going to get a refresh anytime soon until new Tegra chips or something like that. So who knows? But if they made something like that for the Shield, then I'd want to buy one. As it stands, the Shield tablet, I just think is a bit too clunky, and it's just a powerful tablet. But then it's
so
supposed to be for gaming, and then
from experience using it, because I have one, it kind of is.
yeah, yeah,
Like the Tegra chip has got some issues with Android at the moment. Like there are some random freezes, which have certainly gotten better with recent updates. But and it is a powerful chip, but it's not. It's not make any, you know, it's not saying anything about that because if you look at like the iPad Air, like the iPad Air 2, it's currently a device which is 4 times the cost, and it's like the GPU in the Tegra K1 is more powerful than that graphically, and single core performance is about half. Multi-core performance is about 3/4. Like considering it's like 4 times the price, like it's got some seriously impressive performance, but it certainly has its issues. Like it's not a chip that's used so widely that there is a great deal of support. There are some apps that just don't work very well. And while the gaming side works great, like if you've got a Bluetooth controller, it's great. Um, it's I don't particularly use it for gaming. It's a nice Android tablet. It's very powerful, but there are certainly better options.
yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Again, if it had one of those control, because the Edge with the control and everything was really cool. It just had like what looked like two PlayStation Move controllers on the side without the big light up ball piece of shit on the end. So it just looked like quite a comfortable thing as well, like quite ergonomic, just handles essentially to use on the screen because on-screen controls are they? I mean, how do they? If it's supposed to be for gaming, like how do they work on a tablet? I never really understood that. Like even phone games like GTA 5, GTA is it 3 or San Andreas, or there's a GTA game on phones, and that just looks awful to me.
The on-screen, well, there isn't one effectively when you're doing most gaming. Well, I mean, obviously Android games have the kind of touch interface, whatever. We're talking like the sort of games you would play from like Steam, like what it's designed to do. The kind of the reason why you buy a Shield for its game stream ability. You have to have a Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, fair enough. But then I just get, I mean, they should just refresh the original Steam Shield controller thing with the newer Tegra because it's got the old. It's not. Does it even have a Tegra chip? Is it just like what is in the controller Shield?
I'm not really sure off the top of my head.
Because I know it's not the same stuff as the tablet, so I think it's kind of weaker. But then that's just kind of a cool idea to have the whole. I thought that was a cool concept, and I think they should probably refresh that. I think that's the product that I'd want to buy at least, unless you have something like the Edge controller thing. But yeah, I don't know. Speaking of things that are just weird, the 470 RX 470 pricing, I just really don't understand. So you can get an RX 470 reference for £164 overclockers, which is a Sapphire version with a backplate, and it runs relatively cool. It can overclock a little bit, and it gets around 5 to like 10 FPS less than a 480 reference, accounting for overclocking and everything, just kind of stock cards, and that's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good value, really. That's a I mean, 150 would be excellent value, but this is good value. That's decent. Like, that price range is a good one. I think that's exactly where it should be, really, because you can find 480s for even 180 or something like that. For the 4 gigabyte XFX with the backplate and everything, that's fine. So 164, it's a good price. But then the custom coolers come out and they're like 190 on average. You get things like the Nitro Plus, which is, well, the highest overclock, the best looking, and, well, the best performance. And then you get stuff like the Asus Strix, which doesn't have a backplate. So the Nitro Plus looks essentially like the 480. It's exactly the same, just, well, it's exactly the same, part for part, except for 4 gigabytes of the memory are disabled, and a few of the stream processors are disabled, and that's the only difference between the two cards, really. But then the Strix doesn't have a backplate. It has a cheapy looking plastic cooler with two fans instead of three. It it has a power target of like 60 degrees, so they kind of tailor the power target to get the card to get to 60 degrees, and that's kind of how they've done it in this generation. So if you set the power target up, it will kind of be, you know, it will go. So you can set the temperature target up, and then the power target will go, and then it'll put more megahertz, put more power into the card, and stuff like that. A lot of the first 480s and stuff had that kind of similar thing where it was just 80, and then the power issues and all that stuff. So that's been fixed with the custom coolers. They're fantastic. But then with the Strix, well, it's quieter and it's cooler, obviously, because the fucking temperature target is so much lower, but it just doesn't make any sense to me, especially since there's a lot of variants of these graphics cards, and I was only talking about the 4 gigabyte ones, and they're like 190, and that's not a good value. When you could get a 480, even if it is reference, for, well, in some cases cheaper, even if it is just a 4 gigabyte version, but still, I mean, you're still lagging behind in FPS versus a reference cooler 480 in a 470, no matter what you do. If you could get one of those for 180, I've seen them quite readily available for 190, which is only £10 cheaper than, the regular price of it anyway. So that's not hard to come by whatsoever. And then you price your, sure, the custom cooled 470s will be quieter, they will be cooler, they will look better for sure, unless you get the Strix one. To be honest, I think that just looks terrible because, I mean, XFS 480 has a bloody backplate on it, and the Strix doesn't. I guess that's Asus tax in a way. It's should be like 170 minimum, or, well, no, because that's eating into the reference. So I guess like maybe 180 would be a decent price for the Strix version. When you get into this kind of price bracket, it's going up in £10 increments for quality, and when you get the Nitro Plus, and some of them are more expensive than the Nitro Plus, the Nitro Plus is just vastly superior to everything. Same thing with the 480. I swear that Sapphire have a deal with, well, I mean, they are the OEM, so I guess they probably do have a deal with AMD to just stomp out all other competition because, I mean, they're overclocked better just from stock, and they seem to have their power targets right. And if that's true, then they probably have better cherry picked GPUs. So yeah, a bit of a peculiar, bit of a shit show really with the 470, considering the performance to price is just kind of all over the place when you compare it to the 480s. Just reference, yes, and then for the custom, you're paying a premium on that as well. But when you get into the 8 gig territory of 470s, you're paying more than 480s, and sometimes more than 480 custom variants, and that's just dumb.
Yeah, that is just ridiculous. Um, I can't even see like you need 8 gigs on a card like that. Like I think going up to the higher GPU power would be way more beneficial.
I wrote down like a massive fucking essay about the pricing of each and the £10 cheaper and all that stuff, but I think I've made my point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, Other things I wanted to say is I think they kind of gimped the 470 by not putting the VR branding because really and truly, sure, maybe VR uses a bit more VRAM and that's why, but the performance is so close to the 480, and I guess that's why the prices are so close to the 480, but then the customs, and it's a mess. And you know what else is a mess? 460s. So we've got some leaked benchmarks for the 460. It's not looking good. The 460 on paper performs marginally better than a 750 Ti.
750 Ti.
A 750 Ti, and is more expensive just throughout because
Well,
it's
it's
new.
750 Ti is like second hand. Like we're talking like 80, 90 quid.
If not cheaper. You could
Oh
buy
yeah.
new 750 Ti's for 80, 90 quid. And a 460 is going to come out on the market at 100.
You know what? I really hope that leaked benchmark is wrong, and like when they come out, the
Oh, good
AMD are
grief.
all like
But the
jokes.
thing
Here
is,
it is.
that leaked benchmark was a gigabyte overclock custom cooled variant.
Oh no, that's no. Unless no.
I'm terrified now.
How much is that car going to cost? Like 20 quid or?
I
Doesn't want
don't
to cost a
know.
lot.
Because the pricing of the regular 460 seems to be 100, and like we were getting some which was like 125, like it was 480, 200, and then we were getting prices for the 470 that were on 175, which is sort of right, and then we were getting prices for the 460 which was 125, and for all, for all the kind of specifications that makes sense, of even just throughout like stream processors for the pricings, that makes sense. But now that the benchmarks and especially the 470 is pretty much hitting the market, like I'm really worried. AMD seem to have just been like, yeah, 480, we've done it. Oh, we have. What do we do with this lot then? I just, oh, it hurt. It really hurt to see the 470 because it's not. You just you do get into the territory of why get a 470 when I could just spend 20 quid extra and get a 480? And then why do I get a 480 when I could just
Yeah.
spend 20 quid extra to get a 480 custom? And then why not just spend 20 more to get a 1060? Why not just spend 20 more to get a
I
super
mean, don't get
duper
me wrong.
1060? And
That is
then
for the making money part of it. Like that is a really decent way of doing it. Just getting people to inch up the amount they can spend just a little bit more, and a little bit more, is a great way to kind of put more money into the market, which I think AMD needs. But at the same time, it's like it was. I don't. I feel like there's got to be a limit somewhere.
it's just such a. I mean, when the 480 and 460 were duking it, 1060 were duking it out, fantastic. But now that the 460 and 470 are here, well, especially the 470, I suppose, it's just such a crowded market in that bit. There's so many graphics cards at different prices with different amounts of RAM and different specifications, but this one's more expensive than this one, but this one's faster than that one. That doesn't make sense, but that one's only got 4 gigs, this has got 8 gigs, but the 4 gigs still performs better than 470's a mess, and the 460 leaked benchmarks of the super duper variant just, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. And that sucks. And I hope that's wrong. I hope that's very wrong. I hope that was like there weren't drivers for the 460 whatsoever. When drivers come out, it performs 700 times faster, because otherwise it's just no. Why would you buy it other than just complete devotion to AMD, which, well, nobody fucking does, because if the 460 comes out with those benchmarks and I had that price bracket, I'd be buying two 750 Ti. Well, actually can't. I'd be buying a 750 Ti.
I'm curious. Will it be faster than like a 270X?
Well, by the benchmarks I saw, it was within those FPS. It was essentially in between like a 750 Ti and a 270 a lot of the time.
Because the 270X, like, they are dirt cheap. Like, they're even cheaper than 750 Ti's.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
I'm just going to get some proper numbers, because I didn't actually put the benchmark numbers in my fucking notes, because I'm really good at this. Okay, so...
It's so professional.
Yeah, it's actually well behind 270X performance. Like in Crisis 3 at least, the 270 gets 41 frames per second, and the 460 gets 33, and the bloody 750 Ti gets 33 as well. In Doom, we see a similar thing, with the 460 being behind the 750 Ti, then a 1060, and then it's a fucking 270X.
So what?
260X rather. 260X performs.
It's
a joke. It's a joke. This has to have been fake. Okay, because that's a 460 with a custom fucking cooler, right? Probably overclocked to shit. Well, as much as AMD can. And in this benchmark of Doom, it's performing worse than a 260X.
A card which costs £45 on eBay.
In Fallout 4, 750 Ti, then 260X, and then 460. It's not doing too bad in Fallout 4, with 31 FPS. 31 FPS, guys. Oh, calm down. 750 Ti, then 260X, and then 460. So it performs better than the 260 on average. And it performs better than the 750 on average. But on average, it performs worse than a 370 non-X, and well below a 370X/270X.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I really hope that it's better than that. Like, it needs to be better
The
than
performance gap. The performance gap of a 460 is about 2 of them to a 470. In fact, the 470 is better than 2 of them. How does that make any sense?
I honestly don't. It's got to be wrong. Like, there's got to be... AMD are just going to come out and it's going to be like jokes. Here's what it actually does. Like, surely.
That was our 430 card. I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, that was our mobile GPU, maybe. But then again, it's listed here as the 460 WinForce 2X card. I really hope that's not the case, because for fuck's sake, why would you release that at 100? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
3D Mark, it performs about 400 points better than a 750. About 400 points better than a 260. And about 200 about 150 or so less than a 370, and holy shit, about 400 points less than a 270. according to this leaked benchmark, which worries me a little bit because even if it's like 15% faster, it's maybe 370 territory, which wouldn't be too bad because at least that's the card up from 70 versus 60, but otherwise that just makes no sense. And of course, neither does a 470 really. 490, please. Please release a 490.
Yeah.
Please.
Do you think they're going to do a dual GPU card?
No, come on. Stop with that stuff. They're not going to do it. Please. I've said that adamantly the last couple episodes. It's really worrying me. It's keeping me awake at night. Because seriously...
Hey man, they're going to compete with the Titan, you know?
Don't do that. Just don't do that. Why would you do that as your flagship?
What? The R9 295X2, that was such a great card. That worked amazingly.
Oh yeah,
No issues at all.
Have I talked about it on podcast?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't. I didn't really want to, but if I have, oh well. So, my friend bought an R9 295X2, and he hated it. I thought he was crazy. He gave it to me for free, and he went back to using his 290.
Oh wow.
Less than half the performance, right? Or about half because of Crossfire. So I plugged it in, rigged it up. Oh, I loved it for the first 30 minutes. Before I lied down, and the lights from the fan shone directly into my retinas. They're incredibly bright, but that's not really bad. It looks great anyway. Then after a couple of days, I started to notice noises. It's a bit of pump noise, coil whine. Every time I turn the PC off and on, massive gushes of water I could hear running through the loop. That doesn't sound good. If there's a big air bubble, that's going to be killing the pump. Might explain the pump noise. Coil whine. I only get coil whine on my now pretty much deceased 7990 if a game isn't limited and I'm getting like 5,000 FPS, which happens in some older titles, but I use Revere, however you fucking pronounce it, the tuner software that comes with MSI Afterburner. Oh, it's wonderful. And you can limit the FPS to 60 in every game that the FPS is displayed. Not all games have it displayed, but almost like 90% of games do. So it's fantastic. It's just another layer of VSync. Overwatch, surprisingly enough, when I put VSync on, limits it to 70 FPS. I have no idea why. Set it to Revere Tuner and it sits at 60, because that's what I've got for every game, but, whatever. Anyway, so just core wine out of this card anyway. Also, the fact that Crossfire was a nightmare, the GPUs were actually pretty fucking warm, and yeah, I plugged back in my 7990 because, well, the core line was annoying, the pump noise was scary, it wasn't performing very well. In fact, I was getting around the same FPS as I was with my 7990, which led me to believe that the crossfire scaling wasn't working at all in almost all of the games I was playing, because 1290X is a little behind my 7990. So yeah, in some games I was getting less FPS than I was with my 7990, and that doesn't make any sense because if crossfire isn't working and if crossfire doesn't work in that game, then I shouldn't be getting the same FPS with the 295X2 as I do with my 7990, because that would mean my 7990 is scaling. It was warm, it was loud, it was obnoxious, it shot laser beams into my eyes, and not the times that release endorphins to make you forget how much money you paid on it for it. Like, EVGA's cards from last episode. No, the bad kinds that really irritated you. It was a fucking nightmare. And yeah. So Do not make the fucking 490 a dual GPU graphics card. That's what I'm trying to say. Because first of all, my 7990's had enough problems as it is.
So what do you think will be the top GPU in the AMD line this time?
Again, Greenland, Vega 10, Vega 11. I think it'll probably be a Greenland GPU if it is anything. If that is even a thing. Because of Polaris 10 and Polaris 11. I don't know if Greenland is just the nomenclature for Vega as a whole. Or maybe the, super high-end AMD professional graphics cards, maybe. Or maybe it's something along the lines of Fiji. Maybe Fiji is going to be Greenland's going to be the new Fury, which is kind of what we had in mind. Maybe, I don't know.
I'd love to see more Fuji GPUs.
Fiji type, you mean Fury type?
Yeah, Fury type. So even if they use like that architecture, because it was really powerful last generation, it's still competitive. Maybe it didn't. Maybe if they release like the same high-end GPU and just rebadge it, like if they were going to rebadge anything, like that'd be the card.
Well, maybe, if they've already got a HBM memory interface, just stick 8 gigs instead of 4. Because that AMD tried to market it as that wasn't a down point, but there were quite a few games that even if it was super fast, were using right up to that 4 gigabytes. And it was a shame that it got to the market first, but it's not always the best, Just look at Betamax.
Wow.
It is superior in every way to VHS.
That worked out so well.
Yeah. I watch all my films on Betamax. I'm a real rebel. Yeah, okay. But yes, anyway, I can't remember where we were going with that. Oh yeah, the 460 doesn't look great, and the 490 better not be a dual GPU graphics card. And I don't know, there is a 490 out there. There is, it's been listed. But if it's a bloody dual GPU, then I'm sorry, AMD, I might have to go for an Nvidia card next round because you done fucked up. I don't care how fast it is. Just don't do that. Make a 490 and then make a 490 Duo card if you're so inclined. But if it is a dual GPU graphics card, we've seen the trend of these things coming out just before the next generation, and then the next generation basically making that completely obsolete. And we haven't quite got there. The Fiji Duo Pro thingamajig is a really expensive, kind of pointless card. And the 480 doesn't come anywhere near being faster than it, or anywhere near being as fast as, or just no. But you could buy like 6 of the 480s for the price of that fucking thing. So
I'm certainly curious to see where their 490 sits in relation to everything else. I don't know whether they're going to try and compete with the 1080.
The pricing of the 470 and the 460, it seems like they have no fucking clue what they're going to do with anything. Seriously, what the fuck happened? It's like they accidentally said that the 480 was going to be that price. It's like it shouldn't have been, if you know what I mean, because then it doesn't give any leeway to the next graphics cards. And I think it would have probably been better if the 470 was Polaris 11, but Polaris 11 was faster, and then you had the two lower end GPUs be separate. Because then you could price them, and I have no fucking clue what's going on at the moment. I have no idea what is happening. Everything's fucked.
Yeah. They started out so well.
See, I told, people at this point may think I'm like the biggest AMD fanboy in the world, but I will call them out on some fucking strange shit. Also, another weird thing that happened this week, and I'm going to check the prices just to be sure that this is still the case. But you know, I talked about the MSI 480 to you the other day.
Yeah.
It's still $299. It's still on pre-order, and it doesn't have an ETA anymore. So, I'm glad I didn't wait until my MSI RX 480 came out, because first of all, it has a lower clock than almost all of the custom 480s. That doesn't make any fucking sense, considering the $299 price tag. It's more expensive than the MSI Gaming X 1060. Just what? It's got a 1316 megahertz boost clock, which is the lowest out of any custom card, as I mentioned. Just for reference, my Nitro that's on its way at some point in the next year, apparently, fucking hell, has a 1342 megahertz boost clock. Now, this is a sexy card. It looks gorgeous, and I wouldn't mind having one if it wasn't £300. It's £50 more than a Nitro Plus with a lower boost clock, and, well, it's more expensive than a 1060, and I assumed that the reason it was as expensive as it was because the pre-order dated it to arrive at Overclockers on the 5th of August, which would be the first 480 to ship in the UK at least, and I'm pretty sure everywhere else as well. Nobody fucking has them. Meaning that you'd pay a premium to get it, but it's the 7th now, it's not out, and it's still £300. Did somebody at AMD say we're doing too well? Let's fuck it all up. We're not used to this level of praise. Let's make everybody angry again.
But they know how to deal with that.
How's that?
Well, I mean, they're so used to people being angry, they just know how to deal with people being angry at them. They don't understand people being happy, so they just gotta switch it around a bit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You gotta get back to where they're comfortable, you know?
Yeah. Just why? They were so good for a couple weeks. They were so good for a couple of weeks. I hope Zen is good. I really, really do. I also had a slight dilemma on my hand. I found a R9 Fury for 270. There were sapphire ones, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't like the back plate kind of cutting off and it's yellow on the back. So I found a XFX R9 Fury for 290, and I was thinking, by the time I get my 480, I will have £290. I'll have over that, other than, you know, trips to the pub. But I'll have well over that. And I could refund my RX 480 and get my Fury. And then I'll have a really, really fast car. And I'll also be able to say I have a Fury, which is, you know, like saying you have a Titan on Nvidia, but a shit one. And then, you know, I'll have a Fury, and that'll be nice. And I've only spent £300. It's like getting a 7990 for 200. Well, no, it's not at all, but it's not bad. But then I decided to stick for a 480, and because I don't know. I mean, by the time my money comes back from Overclockers, because I have refunded some things from Overclockers, and it takes ages. I don't know what's up with them. Their refunds take forever. It's like within 7 days. It's like 5 days later, and I'm like, I just wanted to buy a fan, and I have to wait 5 days. You fucking kidding me? I bought my Be Quiet cooler through them, and I refunded and got a better one because I realized that Like the day I was buying it, went on like to be ordered or whatever because the last one sold while I was buying it or something. So I got a slightly better one anyway, and it took me like 5 days. And by the 5 days were up, the fucking order was in for the one that I ordered in the first place. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. So I just what just see the prices that they're talking about even in America are fucking stupid for this for 70. It's not just the UK getting dicked on, which I think we are a little bit because our money is worth nothing now. But still, I'm just confused. This whole week of GPU news has just confused the shit out of me. Moving on to the Titan X P X XXX.
That I think that's something different.
Oh. Anyway, so the GTX Titan, it's fast. It's really really fast. In Fire Strike, while overclocked, the scores got around 32,000, which is about 10,000 faster than a 1080. Not quite, but who fucking cares? It's twice the price and not twice the score. The reference thermal throttles like a bitch, and with reference settings, you can only really get around 28,000. But then if you turn the fan up to 100% and are okay with the GPU being at 84 degrees, with the fan being at 100%, with the fucking everything turned up, then you can get to the 2000. So if you want a hairdryer rather than a fucking GPU, and I mean a hairdryer, will dry your hair and is about as loud, then you can get 32,000. But realistically, you're looking at about 28,000. Still on decently high fan speeds and all that bullshit. Costs 1,200. I mean, it's not quite 12,000, but it's 1,200, and that's mainly just to make a $900 1080 Ti look like good value because they priced a 1080 Ti 1080 at such a high fucking price this generation. What is going on?
I don't even know.
Intel CPUs skyrocketing in price. NVIDIA GPUs skyrocketing in price. AMD GPUs ground rocketing in price, and then also being stupid.
The, I feel like at this point, like just right now, AMD are like the rusher of the world. Like everyone else, like, oh, look at our rockets, we're gonna shoot them into the air, and they're like, we got rockets too. He shoots it, he just flies around and hits the ground.
The one that landed on, the one that flew was the 480, and then the rest kind of exploded.
Yeah, just didn't go anywhere.
So you can usually get a boost clock of the Titan X to about 1700 megahertz with all the reference settings and all that stuff. But it starts the thermal throttle. It actually starts the thermal throttle. Now, people have said, like, other GPUs, like, oh, the thermal throttle. No, just because the boost clock goes down. If it goes down lower than advertised, which I think is like 1500 or something, it goes below 1500. It goes into like the mid 1400s, even in the low 1400s at stock. But that's because the fans are max out at 50, which even low-end GPUs max out at 70 fan percent speed by stock. So I don't know what they're playing at with Nvidia. It just doesn't make any sense to me why none of this whole week has just been confusing the shit out of me by stupid decisions made by companies that are just killing their own product. Like Nvidia recently have just been, they don't have any feet. They're gone. They've shot them too many times, and the Titan X is just another one because just their marketing as a deep learning GPU. Seriously?
Why?
Exactly. By the way, the GP102 in the Titan X is not even the full chip.
Really?
It's a cut down version, which means that I think you mentioned a while back that they may be able to retool like the GPU to run on HBM2 with a bigger die and a different cooler and all that stuff, because you have to make the die bigger to facilitate HBM2, and you probably have to change the memory interface. It's more complicated than that, obviously, but it may be done. And if that's the full chip, the full GP102 with HBM2.
I'm just curious because they're not doing a new architecture for next generation GPUs, are they? I think are they staying with architecture?
Staying with Pascal, yeah.
Yeah, well,
for Volta, I believe.
Maybe we don't see a full chip until next.
Because you got Kepler and then you got Maxwell, and they were Kepler cores, but they were more efficient. And then I think that's the same thing that's happening now.
Yeah, but maybe we don't see a full core until next generation because of the thermal throttling.
Make it more efficient.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe they wait for their second generation of this core.
Well, no. The full chip is in a Quadro P6000 or something.
Yeah, I know it's in a Quadro, but I don't know it'll come to the mainstream because Quadros don't get as hot because they run them at much lower clock speed.
Yeah. See, that's a fucking deep learning GPU right there.
Oh yeah.
That's a fucking what? Just fuck off, NVIDIA.
But yeah, maybe I honestly don't think we'll see like I think we'll see another Titan next at the maybe we'll see another Titan, maybe we'll see it in like the 1180 or whatever nonsense it's going to be, and it'll probably be like the full chip then.
Yeah, but
I don't think we'll see it until then.
Oh, what is going on? I wrote the most notes. I wrote like an essay on almost every single one of these. And yet, while I'm just kind of skimming through my notes and trying to explain it, I just realized how fucking ridiculous this week has been for GPU news and some really odd decisions that have taken place. With NVIDIA's marketing of the Titan X essentially basically saying, don't buy this card. I mean, that's what they're doing. And then with the 460 leaks, next week will report on the real ones, hopefully, and the real ones will be completely different, for fuck's sake. Because I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's time for rant 30. What do you say, Wendell?
Well,
the Overwatch rank report.
we're gonna do that.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already bombarded you with 30 minutes of this prior to this, but
that's okay. We can do the Overwatch rant. We're on a rant here. Like, let's just do it.
Rocket Watch is fantastic, otherwise known as Lucio Ball. They released for the Summer Games and for the Olympics a little game mode where Lucio puts a ball around, similar to Rocket League. It's so much fun. It's refreshing. I've played it more than the actual proper quick play or ranked. I've played so many games, and I posted pictures on Twitter and stuff of a stupid exploit, simply because it really pisses you off when you are essentially untouchable, and it makes you feel like a legend. You're the best bloody Lucio Ball players in the world. So the first day I played with a group of 3, and I played with that group of 3, well, me included in that group of 3, from the beginning to now, right? And we have lost a total of 6 games in our entire fucking 3-day and a total of about 12 hours of playtime. And taking into account a Lucio Ball game is around 5 minutes, not including queue time. So say a game and then queue time about 10 minutes, and then some breaks in between. Like, I'm talking about in-game time, like just sitting around talking and stuff. So maybe like 15 minutes per game, including like breaks and some quick play breaks and stuff, because I didn't really count the games. But we've lost a total of 6 games out of that entire time. That's a fuck ton of games, right? Now, I mean, it's probably closer to like 9 hours because we did play some quick play in between. It's mostly I count the 12 hours because I was in Overwatch playing roughly Lucio Ball for about that time. It was about 4 hours each night, usually from about 1 a.m. to about 5 a.m. my time, where the American people that I'm playing go the fuck to sleep. So yeah, it's usually from about 1 to 5. Take a little break every now and then in between and stuff. So yeah, about 9 hours of playtime. Say, yeah, about 12, 15 minutes per game, including queue times and breaks in between and stuff like that. And that's a fuck ton of games. So we lost 6. Now, the first day we lost 2. The second day we lost 2. And the third day we lost 2. Now, on the first day, we lost 2 fair and square. On the second day, we lost 2 due to an exploit in which we had a Widowmaker and a Symmetra. So in the first game, we had a Widowmaker who just can one-shot Lucios, kill them outright, and that means they can essentially score a free goal. And in the second game, we had a Symmetra, which can put little turrets where you spawn and kill you out of spawn, making essentially every single goal for the enemy team free, because you can put it on the goalpost and therefore kill the goalie, and as long as you're not the worst players in the world, put the ball in. They were, however, the worst players in the world, and we almost won. We didn't win because we were getting insta-killed. The next day we went in a game with a soldier. We won that game. And then we blocked them all, as we did with everybody who did the exploit. We blocked every single one of the enemy team. And then we got queued up and we got put in the same game with those people, but they were playing McCree this time. So we just left that game. And then we lost fair and square. And then we got rematched with those same people and we beat them. And that was nice. So that's 6 games total loss. That's it. Out of all that time. But the bullshit thing is that exploit is so fucking stupid. Especially when you get a Symmetra in the game that can kill you from spawning. That's just... You had to resort to that. Are you kidding me? Other than that, the loot box system for the summer games is terrible. I've expressed my hatred for the loot box system in Overwatch quite a bit. It's gambling with a gift, essentially. Like, the only real reward that you get for playing is to gamble. Thanks, Blizzard. So they released new summer loot boxes with about 90 or so cosmetic items, such as sprays, skins, new emotes and stuff like that. A bunch of new content. However, you cannot unlock this stuff with in-game currency. You can only get it from loot boxes. However, each new summer loot box only gives you one new thing. I've gotten 2 skins out of maybe 15 loot boxes. 2 skins out of 15 loot boxes, and just a million fucking icons, a million summoner icons. I haven't got the Great Britain fucking summer icon either, which is something that I really wouldn't mind. I'm going to keep my Reinhardt icon because that's, my bread and butter is Reinhardt, and that's what I've always got all my screenshots, my progress and everything, Reinhardt, but still, wouldn't mind the fucking Great British icon, even though our country is down a shitter right now. Still got to be, have some pride in the nation, but no, don't get any of that. I got South Korea, I got France, I got America, that was a fun one. I got Brazil, I got Russia as well as Germany. And then I got a shit ton of sprays, a bunch of emotes that I'm never going to use, and 2 terrible skins. A fucking Widowmaker tricolor skin, which is awful looking. So that essentially the loot box system is really fucking stupid, because all we really want is the Lucio Ball Legendary, every single person that I play with, because the Zarya one's terrible and the Tracer one's weird. She doesn't have freckles, and that's just not right. Tracer's got to have freckles. So Yeah, no, just no, just no. Why, Blizzard? Also, fix your fucking servers, please. I was playing ranked. Now, if you are ranked 60, you will get 200 competitive points, and if you rank 60 at the end of the season, you've probably played about 100 games, so you'll be able to get a golden weapon. So getting to rank 60 is a big achievement, and it is as well, because when you get to around rank 60, you're in the like top 10% of players in the world. That's fantastic, right? Very well done. However, the rank system's broken. I played about I played about 16 or so, maybe 17 games of ranked in the last couple of days, which is more than I usually do. Now, I don't play nearly as much as some of my friends who play 20 plus, even sometimes 30 games a day. And fair enough, they are a lot higher ranked than me. I accept that. However, I played 16 games, and two, I lost fair and square. Fair enough. 8, I lost to a coin flip. 7 of which were on defense, and 1, fair enough, I kind of lost fair and square. We were on attack on Gibraltar. It kind of sucked. However, in that game, we had won previously, if it was a stopwatch mode, 5 minutes faster than the enemy team without using Winston or Tracer or any of the bullshit, that Blizzard would assume would be detrimental to the stopwatch system. Basically, a team consisting of Lucio, Winston, and Tracer, which is what ranked was. Competitive scene was for a while, just kind of getting on the point, staying on the point, and letting the game go as long as possible. However, they removed hero stacking, and therefore that's not even really a problem anymore. It would still be a slight advantage to have a Winston and a Tracer for overtime, but the overtime goes so quickly that even a Tracer's fucking dash. They've basically fixed everything in line for fucking stopwatch mode to work, which is, I'm assuming, what's going to happen in Season 2. However, the coin flip at the moment is such bullshit. Now, I ranked at I ranked 50 on the very first day, and I was the second best on my friends list. A friends list who I still have and still play with on a regular basis, and are all around 55 to 60. And Crew, who's one of my good friends, is actually 64. And Long, who's the guy I play with primarily, has gotten up to 64, I believe, as well. They're fantastic players. They played about twice as much as me, so I respect that. However, I believe, now this is, of course, yeah, but I think I should be about 55. Now that's fair, okay, because 52 is about average, and I am above average. I just am. My win percentages, and my win rate in my Reinhardt game's fantastic. Even playing against other Reinhardts, I duel them half the time, and I've met very few that are better than me, very few with more hours than me and Reinhardt, and I get congratulated most games. I get a lot of play of the games, and that doesn't really mean shit, but I'm a decent Reinhardt. However, the rank system is stacked towards offensive heroes because there are specific places where you get medals. You get medals for kills, objective kills, time, damage done, healing, and none for deaths. But that's to be expected. So as a Reinhardt, I will almost always, if I have a very strong team behind me, say a 6-man or something, get only the medal for objective time because I'm pushing the fucking cart and protecting my team. If there was a medal for damage absorbed or damage blocked, I'd get a golden medal. But there's not for that. Now, you can get on fire for damage blocked and stuff like that, but it's a lot more difficult to do than for just shooting a motherfucker in the head or being Lucio, essentially. So Lucio players will get a lot of time on fire, and that will kind of base better. And Lucio players will often get time on the cart, maybe silver. They'll always, almost always get gold healing done, which kind of screws over Mercy players who will get silver healing done and probably won't be on the cart as much as Lucio anyway because it's got no AoE heal in the first place. So Mercy players and Reinhardt players get fucked. But do you know what you see almost always? Mercy and Reinhardt players. We get shit on. And you know who's almost always at the lowest ranks? Mercy and Reinhardt players. You know what I am? A Mercy, Reinhardt, and Zenyatta and Lucio and Xayah player. But I played a lot more Lucio, Zenyatta, and Xayah than I have Mercy or even Reinhardt, because I realized that with Xayah, You can get time on the cart. You can get damage done in some cases. You can get fucking kills because Zaya's very strong. We're playing a lot of Zaya now just to try and get some more gold medals. Zenyatta's fantastic. Healing, sometimes even damage done, less so, but especially eliminations. Like, you can get a lot of them. I've been playing a lot of Zenyatta. And with Lucio as well, a lot of eliminations and stuff like that. It just, the highest ranked players in the world are offensive players, and sometimes Zaya players as well, which is a lot of the reason why I love Zaya, and she's always been my second favorite tank and my second most played tank. But I've been playing a hell of a lot more Zaya because it's so biased towards certain heroes, and that's just not the way it should be. If you're a fantastic Reinhardt, and I'd say I'm a damn solid Reinhardt, if you're a fantastic Reinhardt, you should be getting the ranks that you are. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't get the gold medals, even if you win a fucking underdog, you're still not going to get as much rank, or even sometimes lose as much rank. But still, you're not going to get as much rank as the people that are doing gold. And it tries to balance this out by not losing as much as well. I've noticed that even if you don't play as fantastically, like I played some good games, I played some very bad games, and I've lost a lot less than my friends. Um, it's made just because they're higher ranks, but the amount that you lose, especially the coin flips and stuff, you could lose 2 games and undo 3 wins, or 2 games and even undo 4 wins in some cases, and that's some bullshit. I I got ranked 50, and then I went down to 46, and then I played on my birthday and went right the way up to 51 on a 5 game win streak, and then a loss, and then 2 more wins. And that was phenomenal feeling on my birthday, to say the least. That felt great. And my highest has been 52, which is average. However, I'm playing with, like I said, 60s and 59s, 55s minimum. And I'm playing better than a lot of these 55s. And they're fucking playing offensive heroes, and I'm going in as Zaya, and I'm destroying everything, getting the best ultimates, comboing everything, and winning a lot of games up until recently, where we got DC'd, the server shut down, there's some lag issues, and of course the main problem and the other 2 losses are a lack of communication. Overwatch has a serious problem with people not even knowing how to use the user voice interface. A lot of people I get into games who are like higher rank than me, and I'm always in team chat. I'm always communicating. I'm telling that there's a Pharah to the left hand side, there's a Reaper flanking us from behind. My ultimate's ready. Let's combo Pharah, let's combo Reaper, let's combo D.Va. That's a fantastic one. So I'm always communicating with my team, and there's a lot of people that come into the game, don't have microphones, and then think that it's okay not to join the voice chat channel, when actually it's about the communication of your team more than even so yourself. You could be completely silent, but if you know where that Pharah is and you're playing McCree, you can shoot the fucking Pharah. However, if you don't join the bloody team chat and you don't know where that Pharah is and you get shot by the Pharah and killed, fuck you. It's infuriating. I get in games with people that are higher ranked than me, and I say join voice team voice chat, and they're like, "What's that?" or "How do I do that?" How does that happen?
It's all these WoW players coming over, giving it a
Yeah.
go.
So I've been getting, because I wanna at least get to 55. My goal for the end of the season, before I even knew about the rewards, when I got 50, I thought I'm the second best out of all of my friends, and they're amazing. Long has twice the amount of games as me, and he's ranked 49. Wow, I can do this. And now look at me. I'm ranked fucking 48. Another thing is, I kind of knew the rank system was broken from the beginning, because the King of the Hill was broken when you first started ranked. And so all of our ranks were a little lower than they probably should have been. A friend of mine played a couple days when it was after it was fixed. I think I mentioned this before, but he played and he got ranked to 59. He got the same amount of wins as me, and that's just bullshit. And I was talking to a guy who is rank 53, who I met in a game, and we had some banter. It was fun. He's just a nice guy. We lost that game, but we had a good time doing it. We were talking to each other. We were kind of, joking around a little bit, but playing relatively seriously, and we were communicating, and he was a good Lucio. And I was talking to him, and he said he won 3 out of his 10 placement matches, and I won 9. And he got ranked 55. He won 3 out of 10 on the first day of ranked, and got ranked 55. And I won 9 out of 10 on my first day of ranked, and I got ranked 50. No matter what your MMR is, that's some bullshit. So yeah, Overwatch Ranked is a joke, and it's an infuriating joke, because all I want is a golden weapon for Xayah. Because I've got Lionheart Reinhardt. Don't really need a golden hammer for a golden skin. But golden Xayah weapon would be nice to show that off, and I'm playing a lot more Xayah, because, well, she's incredibly strong. Anyway, round 30 over. Fuck you, Blizzard. Round 30 over.
Well then. That was certainly a rant.
Just gonna be people saying get good, isn't it?
Yeah, kinda.
Then again, I got a decent player. I've got a really good quick play friend. He's fantastic as Reaper. He knows exactly when to ult. He's a good Soldier 76. He's an offensive player. He's ranked 39. And that is shit. Like, at least I'm around average. He is terrible at the game, according to his rank, but he's really fucking good. Round 30 over. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, definitely.
You said you had something to talk about.
Well, I got a few things, so we can go through them if you like. So first thing, just as an interesting point of note, I know you don't really follow Linux in the same way that I do, but Linux Mint 18 got released.
I mean, I'd like to follow Linux like you do. It's just, again, like GPU problems and just everything, and yeah.
Yeah, so Linux Mint 8 18 got released. They finally moved their product over to, because Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, and so they finally moved over to the Ubuntu 16.04 kernel, and they finally got everything moved. And with it, they've done quite a major transition, because one of the things which, while Ubuntu does well, it's one of the things that Mint has always strived for. It's always strived to be the desktop operating system. They've never really had a server version. It's always been about the user experience. They're fighting to make Linux part of the desktop. That's why they're kind of an interesting Linux OS. And
it's the one that looks quite like Windows, isn't it?
It uses genomes, so it's
yeah.
It may look maybe a little bit more familiar to Mac users than Windows, but it's not too dissimilar from either.
Right. I went into all of the Linux kernels when I was trying to pick out my one, and I tried to build an Arch. Well, I did a Ubuntu, and it fucking nuked everything. That was my error, because I'm a Linux noob, but, and then I tried to build Arch and stuff, and being a Linux noob, not a very good idea. But also, I did run into some, I'd have to probably go and get some proper code to make my GPU work in the first place for the actual operating system, to get it running stable. Because I tried Ubuntu a couple of times, got it running stable once, and then it just kind of nuked everything. And then I went into Arch and tried to fresh install and everything. It just wouldn't work. Even in virtual machines, it didn't work properly. I don't know if that's just my error, but still, anyway, carry on.
Dual GPUs are kind of like that. The open source drivers aren't really the best for them.
Yeah.
But it got released this week, and it's there's been some pretty major updates, and it's really good. It's very similar from a user experience to what it has been in the past, but they've made so many changes in terms of stability and the they made the user interface a little bit more intuitive. They've added like lots of wine support and like which is Windows emulation, lots of emulation in the background going on now. They've increased their performance overheads and stuff. And look at it now, like it's one of those. It's one of those Linux OSs that you could legitimately pick up and use it as a Windows replacement, because it's gotten to that point. It's gotten to that point where if somebody could just run it instead of Windows, and that'd be fine. They've done some pretty major work on it, and they are going to be one of the leading OSs in like making Linux part of the desktop. So it's kind of interesting that they've got a new release this week. It's about as heavy as Windows is as far as like resources are concerned, but all OSs are these days. But yeah, it's certainly noteworthy. Like Mint is one of those Linux OSs to watch. So on a slightly different note, I don't know how I feel about this, so you might have to weigh in. Amazon have started delivering fresh food to people in the UK.
Yeah, I saw something. You can buy like bread and stuff, right?
Yeah. I guess it's like, your Tesco or Asda delivery service.
It's part of Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't really understand Amazon Prime because sure you can have free delivery or whatever, but are you fucking kidding me on that price? Because is it still £60 or is it more expensive? Because I swear they were like upping the price.
No, it's £80.
Yeah, £80. No, fuck off. I don't give a shit if you got Walking Dead on there.
It's £80 a year.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's £8 a year.
Yeah, which is like.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Which makes it cheaper than Netflix, and you get your unlimited one-day delivery. As well as all the other. You get Amazon Music with it. You get Amazon Video. All that.
Why did I think it was monthly? Did it used to be monthly?
No, it's £8 a month or £80 a year. So you save 2 months if you buy a year.
Okay. That's not bad at all. Fuck, I need Amazon Prime now.
It's certainly not an awful deal. I mean, the
with
video
all the
could use
Prime,
a little bit more, but...
and then I could watch The Walking Dead because I definitely want to keep watching that. I didn't get bored of it a couple seasons ago or anything. And then what else is on there? I don't know, something. But yeah, I mean, I got Netflix, so I'm alright for now. Until I run out. And I'm going to watch Marco Polo next, and then I'm pretty much out of stuff. New season of BoJack Horseman is fantastic, but we're not a television podcast. Oh, it's fantastic. I think it's the third episode of the third season. It is such a different change of pace.
Oh, really?
It's all about the underwater part of the world. If it's not the third episode, people will know what I'm talking about anyway. But it's beautiful. It shows the most character development that he's had in the whole show. But of course, it's BoJack Horseman, so he just forgets about it in the next episode. But the point is, it's fantastic. BoJack Horseman is one of my fucking favorite things in the world. My dad, who basically raised me on the stuff that he likes, although I don't like Family Guy or American Dad or anything, he swears by Archer. Now, Archer is good, but I think Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman are superior.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen enough. I've seen bits of the other show and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing.
He still likes Family Guy and American Dad, so... I mean, he is stoned all the time, so, that helps.
Well... I'm just going down this Amazon price thing as well. Like, their stuff's not ridiculously expensive either.
What, the groceries?
Yeah.
Yes. It's alright.
Kind of interested to see. I'm guessing they're trying to compete with Asda and Tesco and stuff. And UK is the best place to do that because that's not the sort of service you can launch in the US. At all. Whereas it's kind of easy to roll that sort of thing out here and use it. And it's very popular here. It's a very big thing. If they add this to Amazon Prime and make add more stuff, get more brands on board, they could well be a very valued competitor in the market.
Absolutely. Here. I mean, if that really properly rolls out, like an Amazon Prime subscription just for fucking everything would be great. Like that alongside Netflix, you wouldn't really need TV, and you get free delivery with free 1 day deliveries for everything, and get some groceries every now and then. It's fantastic. I mean, as my profession is being lazy, you didn't cut me off that time. Then yeah, no, definitely. Not quite stoner lazy, but
Getting there. Oh, I mean, if you get one of those, start integrating this with like home integration, just get like one of those buttons that you press and it just makes an Amazon order. I just have
smart fridge with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, your weekly food shop is just you pressing a button on your fridge and it just turns up 2 days later.
I'll have 3 cases of bachelor chow, please. Yeah, Futurama is superior to all of the other sort of similar shows, by the way.
So, we're going to move this on from food because we're getting off topic.
And television.
And television.
These are both things that we're not really supposed to talk about.
Back to computers, okay?
Yeah.
8 terabyte hard disks.
Oh, yeah. They're like fucking more expensive than anything on the planet. It's ridiculous. But they are 8 terabytes. Woo. Just buy 2 4 terabytes and you'll be saving, well, 2/3.
That's true. But, and the failure rate on them is like abysmal. I mean, it's like 11%, but that's abysmal. But I mean, HDST, developers of these drives, which are a Western Digital brand, they're owned by Western Digital. It's interesting how Western Digital own like a few different hard drive manufacturers, and none of them sell the same hard drives. Like Western Digital doesn't rebrand anything. They don't rebrand any of Western Digital stuff. They all make their own competing hard drives.
Like, well, are they affected by when Western Digital's fucking factories all died?
I don't think so. At least not. Some of them maybe. I know HGST wasn't.
Yeah, because if they make their own products, then if they're just owned by Western Digital, then that's a good fallback, really.
Yeah, I mean HGST is not really one of those kind of consumer brands that people recognize, but it's very much in the not even in enterprise. Like you see them more in enterprise than you see them more in NAS, and when you get NASes going on the hard drive systems more than anything. But more than anything, they're kind of a research brand. They're all about staying at the forefront of mechanical drive technologies, and they do lots of research. Like their profit margins are really low because they just do so much research into like new drives, and it's the reason why they're just bringing out their new 8 terabyte drives at the moment. They're currently doing failure testing on them. The failure testing is currently about 11%, which for new drives is not awful. It's kind of awful in the grand scheme of things, but for new drives, there's certainly going to be some improvements there. So I think if they come down in price, they'll be decent drives. I mean, obviously, I'm not talking for consumers here because consumers aren't going to buy 8 terabyte drives, but the enterprise will, without a doubt. And that's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Because, if you've got 2,000 servers all running 4 terabyte drives, if you can double your storage overnight, doesn't matter how much that costs. Like storage is valuable. You can sell that to like consumers. Like Amazon sells that. Or look at Microsoft. They're selling like 1 terabyte's worth of OneDrive space with your Microsoft hosting. Well, if they could double the amount of people they could provide for overnight, like it doesn't matter how much that costs. They're going to make that back.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of exciting to see HGSC start to look to do.
Then again, I mean they've probably already done that. Then, like,
but the drives aren't like super available right now. They're still like very much under testing. Like 8 terabyte drives are still
but that's probably because under test, I suppose. But like the first people who are going to get a hold of these are businesses like that. And they're probably going to get them for a heavy discount, obviously.
Yeah, I don't expect the consumer space is really going to see them at all. At least not for a long time.
Yeah, maybe like 2 years down the line, they'll be still expensive.
I honestly don't know that we'll ever see 8 terabyte drives fully in the consumer space, because by the time they reach a price point that consumers are happy
SSDs
with,
SSDs
will already have overtaken them and be price comparison. And so for the consumer space, it doesn't make any sense. But in the enterprise space, you don't always want a fast drive. You want a drive which is reliable and can hold information like for very long periods of time, and mechanical drives will never be, taken out because of that. I mean, SSDs might reach it one day, but they're certainly not close to being there yet.
I mean, when my dad was working for the BBC in the 90s, they were switching from, I think it was 5-inch floppy disks to... No. Is it... Yeah, because you get 8-inch floppy disks, right? The big fucking, like, vinyl record-sized motherfuckers. And then they were swapping to 5-inch, I believe. So, I mean... Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just how long and how big.
So, in some Apple news, which I'm kind of going to bash on them for, but shouldn't. So, effectively, you know how every new iOS generation comes out, and they're like, we fixed all these jailbreaking bugs, and that's going to be a thing. And then Black Hat, their conference comes along, and they're like, we've broken them all, and here's a new jailbreaking for your iOS. Then Apple like, maybe next generation will fix it. That's pretty much how it goes every single year, without a doubt.
Yes, of course.
But apparently, Apple have had enough of this, and they've gotten some people on board. Some people who used to be on kind of the jailbreaking side, and then they're going to bring them in to kind of patch because the way they kind of jailbreak a lot of this is just by exploiting like high-level services and stuff and that kind of thing. And so they're going to bring some of these like hackers and like people who used to break Apple stuff in to protect it and like start building fixes in the hope that iOS will become, jailbreakable.
This is pretty much how every organization who has been hacked deals with it.
That's true, but while Apple obviously like wants to make jailbreaking hard, like I kind of like the idea of being able to like jailbreak or even like on Android root your phone. Like I like if you're smart enough to learn how to do that, I quite like the additional functionality you get. And yes, there's some piracy issues with it, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them trying to take that away completely. Which obviously they want to do from a company because they make less money because of it. But it is one of those nice things to be able to do as a consumer.
Yeah, but do Apple really want you to have nice things?
No, they don't. Which is most of the issue. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting this week. The fact that because I mean, it's funny because Apple are every year at the Black Hat conference just to watch people break their stuff every year. And, like people are they've even got like a stand. Like people are fully aware that they're there. Like, and they're just like every year they're like, our stuff is broken again. So maybe they'll do better this time.
Fair enough. Anything else?
I don't know if you saw, but there's a new Xbox One S.
Yeah, it's faster and it's got possibly. I think it was Polaris-based stuff, right?
Don't remember off the top of my head.
I think so. I think it's at least on a 14-nanometer process and it's by AMD. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it's something to do with that kind of architecture.
Yeah, it's still AMD CPU GPU.
Yeah, maybe it's got a 460 in it. It's about the fucking teraflop output.
That'd explain the graphics.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I fix it in a teardown.
Then again, think about it. If they could make an APU with Zen cores and a 460, now that's a good product. They wouldn't, because then the 460 would be fucking useless. But that's a good product.
Yeah, but anyway, iFixit did a teardown of the product just to kind of have a look. I mean, it's pretty much as is. It got smaller, but I don't know if you saw how much free space was in the first one.
Oh yeah, there was pretty much as much free space in the old one to fit the new one in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it got smaller, but not really. It's kind
They
of
got
the way
as small as it could have been.
Yeah, like that's basically what they found out. Like, the box got smaller. The stuff inside, not so much.
Yeah.
So, That's
I
not.
haven't seen any bloody comparisons. Because I've looked at a couple of teardowns, looked at a couple of this stuff. All I really wanted to see was how big it is versus the PS4. Because if it's still larger, then
Well, it might be. You know,
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of that.
it'd be nice to The difficulty is, it'd be nice to see them do something when they release another Xbox One to like actually do something new with it and not just like release the same thing for more money. Like, because that's effectively what's going on here. Like, you know.
Yeah, well, it's slightly faster and it's got 4K encoding now, so that's okay. You know, you can get 4K Netflix, except for you can't get 4K Netflix because it's not out yet, or it is out now. I don't know. It wasn't out when it was released.
Question is that have they even done any hardware changes for that encoding, or have they literally just done like a driver update?
It's just a faster GPU enables.
Because, yeah.
Or like maybe it could have just been no, because it's not on the old one. I think it's just that the newer GPU actually allows for 4K encoding.
Okay, I mean it's.
You're not going to see games running at that. Fuck
No.
off. Unless you want to play Super Meat Boy at 4K. Wow.
Well, them graphics. No, what they're going to do is they're going to allow you to run games at 4K and then just make them look even worse than they do already. They're just going to downscale all the graphics. So you're going to
4K 2007 graphics, guys.
You're going to be playing GTA 5 and it's going to look like GTA 3 in 4K.
Oh, wonderful. Each pixel is taking up 17,000 pixels on my screen.
And every car is about 4 polygons. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But I mean, last thing of kind of note and kind of interesting. I don't know if you saw this, but IBM managed to create the first artificial phase change neuron.
Oh,
because IMD work on a lot of the so IBM IBM work on a lot of kind of like self-thinking stuff and like computers thinking like humans and all that kind of nonsense. They've been working on that for a very long time. And so they managed to create
so do Nvidia with the Titan X. What the fuck?
Yeah. I bet they put that on there just because like some random dude from IBM who's got too much money just bought one. I'm like, oh yeah, our GPUs are definitely used in this stuff.
I'll pair this with my quantum computer.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. Like they're obviously making some kind of interesting leaps towards a computer that can think cognitively similar to what we do. It's kind of a fascinating read. Not something I'll go through right now, but in the upcoming quantum computing episode,
bollocks! You actually? Oh no, that was a theoretical episode until now.
No, it's gonna happen. And in that episode, I'll probably talk more in depth about phase change neurons and the work that IBM's doing. And so I just want to touch on it now, just as kind of a teaser.
Stay tuned for 2 hours of us not knowing what we're talking about.
But yeah, so that'll be an episode. So just teaser for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've had a few quick fire topics, things that I thought were interesting.
Well, Rant 30 definitely pushed us over, and I mean, for our regular time spot, Lucas is not here and he doesn't do his little fucking lightning round of gaming news. But a bit of a clusterfucky episode of just me rambling on and being rather confused and not really knowing where I'm going and just full on rambling, and then getting into some personal stuff about my life because I'm not even drunk this time. See if you can find which episodes I've had a few to drink. Here's a hint: the ones with Lucas in them. So yeah. You can find me at Alkarius Endgame on Twitter.
You can find me pretty much everywhere, but I don't post anywhere, so nowhere really.
fantastic. And our website will be on